Hey there, and welcome to the Invest In podcast. I'm your host, Zac Hoyt, real estate investor, RV park developer, and your guide to turning adventures into cash flow. Every Thursday, we dive into the strategies, tools, and mindsets that help you invest smarter and live freer. If you enjoy the show, tap subscribe, rate us, and share it with a friend. Now, let's get into today's episode. This episode is brought to you by RVParkConsultant.com. They are your go-to experts for purchasing, funding, designing, launching, and growing RV resorts and campgrounds. With over 35 years of hands-on industry experience, they offer smart park layouts, creative financing solutions, and operational optimization strategies to help you save money and boost your profits. Ready to turn your land into a thriving hospitality destination? Visit RVParkConsultant.com. Link is in the description below. All right, everyone. Welcome. This is the Christmas edition of the Invest In podcast, where we've got deal analysis for RV parks, how to find deals, and how to be a little more merry at the end of the year. Merry Christmas, everyone. This is the day after Christmas. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Lizanne, great to see you. Manuel, David, Michael, Richard. Oh my gosh. Good one here today. Everyone have a nice Christmas, happy time with their family. All of that, right? I don't know what your traditions are, but, with two little boys in my household, we're kind of at that stage where we get to make new traditions. Whatever the heck we want, we get to do that, kind of like rewriting your life. I don't know if you've ever thought about that, what things are framing how you live and act. I always like to think about what we are doing in the world. So yeah, it's a fun one. We get to think about what we want to do differently, how we want to raise our children differently, what we want to do differently for the new year. This episode of the RV Park Invest in RV Parks podcast is brought to you by RVParkConsultant.com. If you want anything related to RV parks, learn how to put them together, plan your sites, figure out your financing, check out RVParkConsultant.com. Boom. Get a little bit of that for our sponsors, helping everything move along to get us more deals, to help you guys get some training. We've got some fun stuff. Lizanne, we haven't even told you some fun stuff, right? You and I, we have to just hang out constantly. I think this whole next week. I don't know. Oh, you probably have kids home. Yeah, you're shaking your head. You're like, no.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm available. I'm here. Let's go.
Beautiful. Let's go then. So yeah. So I am thinking next week for everyone, when we want to do some of this off-market deal hunting, next Tuesday. So Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone convert that to your own. I think that's a fun thing that we can do. We'll send out an email to everyone about that. So Ralph, if you can send that out. To everyone that is interested in that, we will have 17,000 leads that we're going to end up divvying up, teaching you how to go through, do some little scripts on them. We can even do some live calling right there, right? So we can model what that's going to look like for everyone moving forward. Real easy way of drumming up some off-market leads and deals. Why not get something by the end of the year? And then, yeah, Lizanne and I, we're going to be working together, chomping through all these leads that we have. So another announcement to everyone that's either here or that's listening to this: no more on-market deals for us. For the time being, we say thank you so much for these on-market deals. We have seen so many of them that they look like they're juicy and enticing to you guys. Unless you have some brand new riveting information on them, they're like, this is hot off the presses from yesterday. We know what's going on with a lot of these deals, and some of them are just on the market for years that we've seen. They're like, oh, look at this awesome deal in Northeast Ohio. It's this best thing. Gosh, do you guys know someone even brought that deal to Pace, and Pace ended up calling, what was his name? Not Kevin. I forget his name offhand, but that deal that's in Northeast, Kyle is his name. I knew it was a K name. Yeah. Kyle is that owner's name, really irresponsible with his finances and stuff. But that's a great example of what not to do at an RV park and how to get sued and do lots of things. That's great because he's probably never going to listen to this podcast. That's fine. But he is notorious in the RV park world. His deal, his park has been going around and round and round forever. We keep seeing it from people over and over and over. So even yeah, Pace got it and called him, and Pace was just kind of confused by the guy's whole situation as well. It was interesting to see that whole response. So not even the
Hit me
master
up.
himself could turn that into something amazing.
He hit me up.
Did he?
He
Kyle
did.
did?
He did.
Yeah. Turned into any good deal for you?
Well, knowing that the people that already turned their nose up at it indicated to me I probably should too,
Yeah.
including
That's
yours truly.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
told
I
me
mean,
he told me he can't. You went out to his property.
oh yeah, you dropped my name. I'm sorry. Because I did. I went out there. I saw what a mess it was. He hardly makes any money on all of the sites that he gloats about, and he's underwater, and his infrastructure is very aged. He doesn't really have great any type of sewer, septic, anything like that. He pumps that out all the time. Um, Besides the fact that he has lawsuits and the new renovations that he put in are substandard and the wrong materials and the wrong contractors for his clubhouse. I mean, I could go on and on. And this is something from 2 years ago. I went out there. So, it's funny. We don't forget these things. They just stand out in our heads. Deals. I hate to say that because sometimes I'll forget important dates with my wife, right? And I have them all written down and posted even on in our bedroom, little things that put those dates on there so we don't forget. But I'll still forget. I got to look at that and reference it. But this deal with Kyle in Northeast Ohio, man, I cannot get that out of my head for the life of me. I wish I could forget it. I'd use it for more important things, like fun dates to remember with my family. But that's funny how it is. That's just how we do things. Entrepreneurial, when we get in these deals, we're so ingrained, we just do not forget those. So yeah, so many deals have been going around and around that happened coming from the idea of that no more on market deals for us to submit right now, please. We've got lots of those. So we're really looking to focus, hey, how can we teach everyone to get some off market deals? Those are a lot more fun. Personally, can structure them and they're fresh, so they're more enticing to everyone on the team. It's nice to see something new for once. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So, Tuesday, 1 p.m. next week, we'll be sending out an email inviting everyone to that Zoom who has submitted something to us and wants to be a part of this next phase of things. Still doing these Fridays, don't worry, all the time. But yeah, so that's what we have going on. I don't know. It's going to be a light Friday here. We knew that right after Christmas. Some people hung over, some people just overfilling with joy with everything that's going on, I imagine. Judy, what's that yep to? I wonder. The joy or the hungover? Oh, yeah. Okay, and both. Yeah, I like and in life most of the time. Most of the time. Cool. And so, Ralph, you're dropping a Zoom. What's this about? You've got a Zoom registration link right there.
This is for the next Tuesday meeting. So if everybody just click on that, they can just add it to their calendar, and they will get notifications day before, an hour before the event.
Great. And Lizanne's got her hand up. Yeah, I
Oh
see
no,
her.
I'm looking at the BlackRock and I'm like, that why does that sound so familiar? I think when he first put it on market, I talked to him as well. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I did get from that park, though, if I remember correctly, was he said he had a like rock solid waiver. So
Yeah.
I think he's like, I've been sued. People have, tried to sue me, and, I've always won because my waiver is rock solid. So I remember, like, I was looking, I was like, oh, I want to look at the waiver. So you get something they're not, I mean, they're like, you don't want the deal, but there's always some lesson or something in there, right? That you can learn from. And I think that's what I had gotten out of his park. I was like, let me look at this waiver because it's something I want to integrate, you know? So
Yeah, yeah, and Kevin's put that in there. Waivers are never
uh,
rock solid, so they're just,
ah,
as good as can be, right? And so I went there, and yeah, so he still got sued, and you can still get sued even though you might have a waiver. It's just, lawsuits. If you guys have not been in one yet, gosh, I feel like you're not trying hard enough. Honestly, if you haven't been part of a lawsuit, uh, do some more stuff. Hate to say that, but yeah, the more like eventually the more you do, it's just lawsuits just tend to end up happening here and there for something. I know I've been a part of plenty of them, which is exciting. But yeah, as far as a waiver, so he has 4x4s at this Black Rock park that he rents out, and you can bring their own adventure trails, all of that. And he does have a waiver, and he does have stuff on the wall, and he does have rules, and he's have to sign all this and that. But he still has been in this multi-year lawsuit that's cost him, in his words, tons of money. Um, and so maybe his waiver got a little bit better, but I mean, you still go through it. So that's the crazy thing of it. If you decide to take on things that have risk, inherently you're going to open yourself up to more risk in all of this. So, all right, I want to get a little poll from everyone real quick here. Who is new? Who has never been here before, just so I know, do a me in the chat so I know if you've never been here before, because I know a lot of people have been. I want to make sure. All right. Yeah, Manuel. Oh, well, Chris. Oh, wow. Okay. So great. So you guys are new. Welcome. I'm not always wearing reindeer antlers. You can probably imagine, just if you're curious. And if you do want to watch some of the previous episodes, they give you good context of what we're talking about, where we've been. So yeah, I see Kevin dropped our buy box that's on there if you're interested in sending us deals. This is meant for really anyone in the RV park world, typically some people that are newer in it. If you're looking to be a bird dog, make some money on that. We've got some actually on that link. Yeah, Ralph dropped our YouTube link on there. Subscribe to that. And you'll see in there the podcast that there is our Birddog 101, 102, all of that. That whole series is this Friday. So you can catch up, see where you're at on 101. You'll learn how much money you can make being a bird dog. Typically in the $20,000 to $40,000 range for a basic lead that you send us on a $2 million park. And so we buy parks that are more than that. You would make more money. And there's more things that you can do as you level up being a bird dog to whatever you want to do. But it's much more lucrative bird dogging for RV parks than it is for single family homes. Right. I remember back in the day, we were making like $500 to $1,000 we'd pay for bird dogs. I know people that are still paying $1,000 for a bird dog lead for a single family home. But we can do a lot more with RV parks, and that's the fun of it. And then you can learn to do anything else you want to do within this realm of things with RV parks. So yeah, it's helping to bird dog. If you've got any deals to analyze, whatever you're looking, really, if you have any questions related to RV parks, we're here as a resource to help you be that community, let you know that you are not alone. And like you see in the chat, if you're showing up a little late, we have on Tuesday, we're starting the first of this series where we're going to help you call some off-market deals. And we even have those leads for you to call. And we'll give you the simple script and walk you through so that you can start calling and generating leads, potential leads out of nowhere. So you can get paid that $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 from phone calls. Isn't that pretty neat? That's pretty neat. It's wild, but it's absolutely true. So yeah, Greg, we do have the sign up for next Tuesday. Ralph dropped that. It's at the bottom of the chat right there. Click on that, get signed up, and you're good to go. Judy, yeah, use our LOI. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we give it there for. We give that to you guys so that you can have that. We've got an LOI, we've got our purchase agreement, because please don't use a typical purchase agreement that you see for a single family home. It is not going to work out in your favor. I'll tell you that. There's different things as far as timeline and due diligence and just different things that are included. And so Ralph just dropped that. All the resources are found right there, including tools to analyze deals, tools to calculate the pro forma, what you're going to do, how much money you can make on it, as well as the LOI, the purchase and sale agreement, your due diligence list. All of that can be found in this link right there. You just pop your information in, and there's a couple steps, and you'll get access to all of that. We give that all away for free. We're looking to just help everyone out and do better. We help you to call and find leads. Then you then give those leads to us. We'll help chase them all down to see if they really are deals. And then you get paid money and you get to see what's happening behind the scenes with us in the next steps. Really fun. And then fast forward down the road, you get to visit the RV parks with us and have fun. Let us know what you think. You say, hey, this park sucks. Okay, it sucks. That's cool. How do we make it better? Right? Then when we're taking over these RV parks, that's really the question, is how many ways can we make these parks better for the people that are visiting them and everything? When is that happening to visit? Well, so lots of things, Judy. Lots of things with that. So in general, we host a monthly virtual meetup. It's monthly, it's virtual. That means we're on Zoom here once a month. We've got different people. I know in February, we've got an SBA expert that's coming in to ask them all those different questions and nuances and how come this and how can we make things faster and how can we qualify for that. But it's once a month. And then once a year, we're looking to meet in person. Hey, let's make an excuse to get together when it's nicer out. So not usually in February timeframe, when it's nicer in some of these places, although Florida is nicer that time of year. But yeah, we're going to make sure I really want to have a roster of everyone, their RV parks, so that we can band together, visit each other's RV parks. And frankly, as the podcast, I want to go around to lots of different RV parks and interview those owners and see what they love doing, their story behind that, and really showcase them. Because at Ojai, man, they're at OC, the conference that was this year put on by Ojai. There were some really cool RV park owners, and hearing their stories. These multi-generationally owned RV parks are just phenomenal, and they're killing it, and they're very, very focused on what they're doing. They're super focused. They're not spread out all across the country, but yeah, really, really exciting. It's fun to root for them. They were at our table and they won, which is really cool. So I'd love to go visit them in person.
Zach,
Yeah.
I'm going to be having that RV meetup as well on the second Tuesday of every month for RV park owners, for Birddogs, for just to try to get people together. Just it's very informal, not organized like your stuff. It's just people get in there and just to have open discussions, So I'm hoping that we'll get a lot of RV park owners in there, who can help other people to learn about operations or just tell them their experience, and people can all get to know each other in there too.
Cool.
So that'll
So
be
when is that? Yeah, I thought I saw it was the first Thursday, but now
the,
you're saying it's the
no, the
second
second, you know what?
Tuesday?
Hold on.
Double check.
Yeah, I'm still on my first cup of coffee. I think it's the second Thursday because I was gonna do it on the third and I was like, oh wait, no, that's our other Zoom. Why was I thinking the third? So it's the second Thursday, and I have it up on my Facebook page I'll send it to Ralph. People can probably find it. But yeah, and hopefully we can get to know some of these mom and pops as well, a little bit better. And it'll help all of us, figure out what's happening with what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ralph put a link to Ojai that's in here, um, learning about that. Yeah, and gosh, Ojai has the George O'Leary uh, outdoor hospitality training that's coming up in February. So that's going to be something else. Hopefully, we will be visiting. That's fun and documenting. And Greg's asking about you, Lizanne. What's going on in your park?
Yeah, I was just typing back to him. We are closing. The sellers were just here in Tucson visiting us. that was so cool. We were so excited to see them, right, Jessica? We went out to dinner with them. And then they came to Jessica's house and we sat, I think we were there for 5 hours reviewing
Yes, I think so.
everything that to switch over what it's going to all look like. But we haven't closed yet. We're still waiting on the SBA. And they said the end of January, beginning of February. So we're all just kind of waiting on that right now. So that's where we're at, but we're starting to, talk about, we have our full list of utilities that are going to need to be shut off and turned back on and, are switched over. And we put out the schedule for next year, for events that are going to be happening and, discussed some changes and stuff. So I want to do some promotions to bring people into the park. So yeah, we're getting there.
So that's awesome. Yeah, that's real fun. You got your list ready for your turning over. That's
Mhm.
always exciting.
The-
Yeah, and Greg's asking more, right? He wants
Well,
more. Tell
I
us about
think,
closing in the winter in New York. So I grew up in upstate New York, and I
right.
mean, I grew up in snow country there, but it's cold
Yeah.
regardless.
I don't know if that
Jessica.
was appropriate for today, but I'd be curious about closing in on a park that's closed in the winter with snow on the ground and how you do your due diligence on septic, water, electric, buildings that are closed up and because that's the boat I'm in. I'm in
Mm,
Massachusetts and I'm looking in New England.
So I got very lucky with this park because I found out that, there were people that were trying to purchase it before us, and the sellers decided they didn't want to sell to them. And one of the gentlemen used a broker who happens to be the mother of the attorney that we're using to close the park. So I was able to get on the phone with her, and she told me everything. So I knew how the septic, came back. And we didn't actually do a septic because I already knew what the septic results were, and all of that. We are buying the park as is, and the sellers are going to be there with us the entire first year. So, they'll be showing us everything. But yeah, I was able to she was very gossipy. So she she just told me everything, like everything. So it really lightened our load a little bit, which is insanity, on other parks. Because like in the future, if I don't have something like that, you absolutely have to get in there and do it. But um, yeah, I know that if you have a park that's closed during the winter, you want to try to make sure that your closing date is closer to opening. But you don't want to get too close to the opening date either because you have to promote, right? Depending on the park. I mean, this park that has no marketing, no, you can't book online, all of that. So I'm hoping for February, March to be able to do all of that, right? But yeah, septic systems, you'll have to, when you go under contract, have this discussion. Like we're not going to be closing until this date, and we're going to be having to run septic, so it's just a discussion that you have to have with
Mike,
them.
if they wanted a fast closing, would it make sense to maybe put money in escrow
No,
for,
well, it doesn't make
say,
sense.
$100,000 for plumbing? Just put it in escrow until you can open it up?
You don't necessarily want to, if you're going to be closed for 6 months, you don't want to buy the park and have to make payments on something that isn't bringing income in, right?
Right, right. No, I get that
So,
part. Yeah.
so people who are like, well, we want a fast closing, but we're going to be closed for the next 6 months. It's kind of like, I wouldn't do it. I
Okay.
wouldn't do it. I mean, I would say, yeah, we could put it under contract. We will definitely, but the actual closing date can't happen until this time.
I mean,
It
and yeah, I agree, Lizanne, that we try to line that up as much as possible because, of course, we like to have money coming in when we're having money going out. But Greg, I also hear your point is if they want to do this, well, then how can you make that happen? And how can you
Right.
protect yourself in that scenario? And obviously, you got to be careful when you can't inspect all of these things when water doesn't flow in the winter, right? But if, presumably it did before that, the season before that, I don't know if they have some type of, it'd be nice if they had like, hey, a professional company that came out and winterized, but really it's just going to be their handyman that's there, that's blowing air through it, maybe putting some type of, yeah, glycol in there to winterize things. So you don't really know. So can you put 100 grand or something in escrow? You can, if the seller really wants to close fast, you can push back and do that. But do they want to hold back 100 grand? I'm sure they don't. So it's just going to be this, you're going to be just, it's going to be one more thing to figure out. But you can use that as a conversation to feel them out if they're itching to close so much. It's kind of like that date that is itching to hang out with you, right? More. And you're just like, why? Why are you? I get that I'm so wonderful. You want this, and you don't want to be alone, from a dating standpoint, whatever. But it's like, what are you trying to hide? There's kind of that pushback that's on that all, and so you can put something in escrow, but now you got to make sure that that escrow release and all of that is written really favorably for you. Like
Hmm.
I don't want to even say written well. I just need it to be written favorably for you as the buyer because that's meant to protect you. But of course, the seller is going to push back and they want it to be favorably written for them. So, I mean, it's one of those things that, if anything, I would say you bring that up in advance, like right as you're looking to close on it, right as you've got your LOI and you're moving into your purchase agreement, you put that in place, like, hey, can we just have this hold off so that we can line everything up? But sure. I mean, and another thing is you can obviously defer payments if you're doing any seller financing. It's a good excuse for you to defer payments for a while, and more than just till money comes in for the whole first year or whole second year. Say, hey, we got to put money out of pocket. We're not having any money come in. And we obviously have got to do our own new brand with this. We want to get things good in the off season because we have a couple months. We have to market it so everything is ready so that people know that we, as much as possible, we can get people in right as the season starts. That's going to cost money. So we're willing to do this. If you're willing to do this over here to help us out by deferring some payments, putting some money in escrow so that everything is protected. I trust you. That's great. But we just need to verify. Like, I always trust and verify things. So let's just put that in escrow and have that written up in advance. So that's cool. You absolutely can, because I'm all about creatively solving the problem, hearing the needs of the seller, the wants even of the seller, almost more than the needs. Their wants are what are going to drive them moving forward. The needs are where their back is up against a wall on things, but their wants, that makes them smile. If we can make these people smile, these sellers, everyone that we're working with, we make them smile, they're going to be happy all the time, as opposed to being just adversarial in what we're doing. So yeah, all that is possible, totally possible. And honestly, I would say prudent, and a good choice. If you are going to close it prior to everything opening up where water flows, then yeah, try and protect yourself in some way. And I'm sure you're going to claw back some of that money one way or another. That's the thing, though. You put it in escrow, everyone kind of knows that. You kind of feel that way. The seller kind of knows that, like, it's harder to get that money. So that's why it's just more of a headbutting, a friction of wanting to sign it. And they're just like, no, you're buying it as is. Well, it's, yeah, as is, but we can't check how terrible this is. So it's just going to be that dance. And it's an awkward dance when everything is frozen. So take that as it is. And if you can work with that, then cool. Because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time in the Northeast where things are frozen.
I was going to say too, I mean, we were there over the summer. So,
Yeah. I thought you might have said
we,
something like that. You've seen that. It's been going on long enough. You've seen
yeah,
that deal. You
we
visited
went
it.
up, yeah, we went up a few times and spent, a good amount of time at the park. So we already know, what's happening in the summertime, viewpoint. So yeah, this is the longest deal in history. So yeah.
Um, yeah. So tell us more, if you could, Lizanne, about yours, since I don't know if people picked up on it. I want them to understand all the different possibilities. You mentioned that the sellers are going to stay on for a year. Can you tell us,
Well,
like, explain what capacity, why you're doing that, how that can help you? Because there's a few different angles to that.
So, um, I mean, the year is the first season because they don't want to be there when it gets cold. So they'll be heading out, you know.
Fair
So
enough.
it's 6 months, the first season, and you know, they said they would stay until they felt that we 100% understood the park and what was happening, and that they would never be far away. So if anything happened, to give them a call, and they would come back if they needed to, or walk us through it or whatever. And we also gave them a site for the rest of their lives. So if they want to come back and stay at the park, they can stay for free for the rest of their lives. But again, you know, I
Well,
told
they
Joe,
can stay literally for free, but they will have
right,
a spot reserved.
they will have a spot reserved, and Joe's going to have to mow the grass. That was the deal. So, because there's a lot of grass, it's 62 acres. So,
Wow.
so yeah, they're just they're gonna to help us get through. So it's a catch 22. It's not all great because they're very strong personalities. He is. So we're gonna have them there to help us through everything and anything, but also they're having we already see some very small difficulties letting certain things go.
Yeah.
So it's going to be it's a balancing act, and a lot of, you know, they had a seller that had told them that they could stay for a while the first year, or I'm sorry, a buyer tell them they could stay for a while the first year, and then once they got under contract, you know, the buyer said, "No, I want you guys out. Get out. I'm going to close and you need to go." And they said, "You know what? Never mind. We'll lose our money. We're not selling the park to you. I don't even, you know, whatever." But so they've gone through a lot of people, and to get this park, we knew this is something that we had to do. And this park, I mean, we've looked at so many parks, and just because we didn't want to lose it. It's so beautiful, and there's so much potential that is just unmet. So we were willing to do that, and we didn't mind because we ended up, you know, really caring for them. And we do, you know, we really appreciate them as people, and we love to be around them. And yeah, I mean, if you can handle that, if you're good with people and you can walk that balance, you know, then you know you do it. So
Yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
people think I'm crazy.
that's hospitality. And, you know, unless you're really doing the long-term stays at the RV parks, we're leaning more towards the short-term stays. Then that is hospitality. You're going to have to be good with people. If you're not, the business, the bottom line is going to show it. It's going to be reflected there one way or another, either in your employees, or the people that are staying there, or both, right? But you need to be great with people in order for that to happen. So I'm curious, in your deal, you mentioned, so what is it? He's mowing the grass forever? How's that working? And like he can stay, like we're reserving, Jessica, what is this? Reserving, like, here's a spot. You can always rent it from us. It's not going to be free, but you can rent this spot. We're going to make sure there's always, we're at 99% capacity. There's always a spot for you guys. Or how's that within, you know, giving us a heads up of some sort? How's that working logistically?
We still need to I'm gonna talk to our attorney on how can we arrange some type of agreement for them for when they come back to the site, and because they really want to come back and as you know, as a guest,
Yeah.
and do some camping during the season that is open. So I'm gonna reach out to our attorney still and ask her to help us have some sort of agreement where they can come in. So we will save a spot for them. Like they will, okay, I really love this, you know, this site, and we can reserve that for them. We know legally, it can't be a free site. So we will find a way to have a spot for them where they can pay certain amount. But he loves mowing. So when Lizanne told him, okay, we're gonna come back, and he was like, I'll pay you. I don't want it for free. He really said that. And she was like, okay, you will also gonna have to mow for us. And he was like, oh, this is perfect. This is the perfect situation. I'm gonna be able to come back and I'm gonna be able to still mow the grass, which he loves it. So we're gonna have to find a way to do this. And once we do, we can share, any insights on that. Once we talk to the attorney on how we can arrange this so that they feel, like they feel comfortable, like they can welcome, and and that feels nice because having that relationship with them, and it's been working really, really smooth.
And that's the beautiful thing working with sellers when you're talking to them directly of what do you want? You've built this thing up for all these years. Of course you want to come back. Why would you not want to? I'd say almost every seller, that's something that's in their ear, that's in their head of just like, yeah, of course I want to be able to come back. There's some sellers that I've talked to where they were looking to sell it to, they had all this depreciation because they spent all this money on this like Disneyland type of thing, all these wonderful little cottages that were all themed very differently, spent tons of money and energy on that. So they wanted to be able to come back. They couldn't sell it for as much as they've been putting into it. This one investor was willing to buy it for close to that for all the tax write-offs. They were going to shut it down to the public, just make it open to their employees because they had this big company, just open to their employees as a perk to go and visit it, but it was going to be shut down to the public. And so as a business, they were going to be able to write off 50 to 60 grand every month just from leaving it closed, as crazy as that can seem to everyone, and just having their employees go and visit there. But the sellers really didn't like that because of course then they couldn't go there, and they put so much effort into it. It's funny, as we're talking $4 million purchase, and is the millions of dollars are great, but they just want to be able to see their work, that their blood, sweat, and tears, and how that ages over time, because they weren't doing this just for the money. They put all that intention, making each little cabin beautifully designed, meticulously themed. Of course they want to see that again. And I'm sure they love talking to the visitors to be like, hey, what'd you think of this? Right? Because everyone loves to feel that that their work is valued and that other people are getting enjoyment out of this, wonderful memories with the kids, younger generations, everything. I mean, that's part of what we do, and that's part of what attracts any potential owner to an RV park. Is you get that experience, you get to give that goodwill to other people, strangers, yet alone people you know. So yeah, that's a big thing to be able to offer to them, to, hey, you can come back, however you can structure that out, right?
I have met sellers where they're like, yeah, I just want it gone as well, though, right? So
Yeah.
it's a kind of, it all just depends on, on the seller. And that, I mean, that's, again, it's if you can just talk to people and listen, what is it, what are their wants and desires? Some of them don't care. They're like, just take it. And some of them are like, yeah, I've been here for 22 years and I would, raise my kids here. And I kind of would like to be able to come back. Like, this has been my home, so you have to just feel out the conversation and the individual and see what they're wanting.
Yeah, and so that's what we're going to be doing more on these Tuesdays that we're moving forward, is we're going to be working towards those seller conversations so that you can hear them firsthand. We'll give you scripts for really short conversations so you can get in and out, just dip your toe in. You don't feel like you need to know all the information, so you're not so freaked out to make a call in the first place. But then you can listen to one of us as we go and we talk to the seller. We call them back. We set up an appointment with us during that time. We can do that so that we can call them back. You can hear the whole conversation. It's usually more on the order of like a 30, 40-minute conversation, because if we're scheduling it, then they have that 30 minutes that are free, and we're dedicated. We really want to be focused on them and listening, empathetically listening, like Lizanne was talking about, to exactly what they're saying, hearing what they're saying, but also listening for what they're just feeling out there, the emotions that they're giving there, the things that they might not be saying directly, but we can tell are very important. So that's fun. To me, that's lots of fun. We'll get in there. Yeah, Lizanne and I will have fun talking to these sellers. So we'll end up recording some of those and sharing those with you guys as well, because they're wonderful teaching moments. No one conversation is ever the same. That's the craziness of it. If you guys are okay with that, like having those unscripted conversations, then you'd be a good one to lean into, start doing some acquisitions in the future, doing the next level that we can teach you guys, elevate you to a Birddog level 2, just from the level 1 quick conversations, get you to the level 2 conversation so that you can just learn to do more and more. And that's the whole point of this, is we want to elevate you towards your goals, whether the goal is making more money, owning an RV park, owning lots of RV parks, owning some with us, whatever that is. Maybe just have lots of money and you're looking to do something and invest passively, because once you figure out all the steps, you're like, oh my gosh, you go call the people, you go negotiate, find the funding, do the operations. I just want to get the financial benefits and to be able to visit it and to actually say that I own a piece of it. Okay, that's possible. You don't have to do all the things. You can just do what you're doing right now, however you're making money, that's great. And then just be a financial partner in what we are doing. So you don't have to learn all the things. You don't have to take the time. We've got lots of people that are like that. So that's also fun, right? And I get that there's not any one aspect that everyone is different, essentially. So yeah, I guess so. We talk to people that are new that are here. So who in the comments, if you can say, who's a Birddog? Who's just looking to make 20, 40 grand right now? And this could be an and. So it's an and. You can be a Birddog and you want to own a park and you want to invest. But right now, who wants to Birddog as one of these next steps to make some money with this? Anyone for that? We're going to find some things. Chris, absolutely. Judy, yeah. So Birddogging is fun. And if there's anyone else that's in here, so the point of this is that, especially like Judy, okay. And then the next thing, is anyone that is looking to be an owner, say, hey, I want to be an owner, or I am an owner. Put that in here, because a good way to be an owner is to figure out what a good deal looks like and how to find and source a good deal, so that you know how to look at it quickly when you've got all your pieces lined up to be an owner. Because it's a little chaotic when you are just starting out to say, all right, I want to be an owner. I'm not going to say any of this is impossible. There's very rare times that you'll ever hear me say things are impossible. I currently can't fly. Right? That's impossible for me. But to be an owner where you don't know a lot about it yet, that's not impossible. There's ways of solving all of these things. It's not impossible to buy a park where you don't have money, for instance, or if you don't have good credit or you don't have experience. It's not impossible. It is possible. There's ways around it. If someone learns how to fly, heck yeah, that's always fun, right? In my dreams. In my dreams, I fly. Real fun. Real easy. But yeah. So, all right. So yeah, for Birddogging, that's what we're talking about. Is we'll teach you how to do that. And if you want to be an owner down the road, if you Birddog, you'll be able to see all these different deals. You'll be able to bring them to us. We'll be able to say, hey, this is a good deal for someone in general, but not a good deal for us. And here's why. And that's one of the things that we do in these calls is you can bring your deals. And so I see that, Manuel, you've got you're looking at a hybrid deal right now. I'm curious what hybrid is for you. What type of hybrid? Yeah, I love that.
Well, basically, I run into that park. They have mobile home, they have duplex, and they have RVs. It just came to me, and I'm like, well, I'm not interested. And then my person who's looking at it, they said, well, let's make sure that, it's not something maybe after we're gonna regret. So right now we're getting the financial, and that's where we are right now. And also I didn't put it in the room. I'm looking at another one in Florida. I did the underwriting. I mean, it's a gem, but I need a partner on it. And I talked to Tyler. I don't know if anybody want to know Tyler Ware. So we kind of like looking at it, but he's not into RV. He's doing more mobile home. So it's a gem. So if someone wants to look at it, I'd be more than willing to share the information.
Okay.
Manuel, I'm curious, you keep saying it's a gem. Tell us why it's a gem.
Well, because I did the numbers and right now he's running at 361 a year with 110 pad. And he's got an expansion of 300. And I called the county and I called the engineer to find out if it's gonna be grandfather or if we have to do an update. And the county and engineer confirmed that it's just going to remain like that. It's not you don't have to do it up to code, so you don't have to it's not a construction. So uh when I did the number, it goes from 361 to 900 something a year. So we're looking at very good numbers.
So you're saying if you were to expand it, then your NOI could go up to 900 and something a year, is what you're saying.
That's
So I'm
correct.
curious, were you able to calculate what the cost of the expansion
Yes.
in
Yeah,
totally?
yeah. The cost of expansion per pod is 1920, labor include, and when you do the 300 is like 576,000. So of course you're not gonna do that in 1 year. You're gonna spread them out, but every time you do one, you increase your NOI per year. So yes.
Okay.
Right,
More
right.
more details to pick apart with that. Of
Yeah.
course, is the more things we find out, it just kind of there are more threads that we want to pull to figure out exactly what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean, as a for instance, we are always looking for a park that has expansion potential because ideally we are creating this park, we're buying the park or creating it, and we're making it so that there's much more draw for people to want to go to that location. So as that occupancy goes up, surely we want to capitalize on that by adding some more pads. And yeah, you don't have to do them all at once. You do them in phases. And that's the beauty of RV parks is you can just dig some more, scratch some more dirt, put some utilities in and add some more, and you don't have to do the whole thing at once. Where if you're doing a new construction of a multifamily building, for instance, it's not like you can just build 3 levels and then decide to add 3 more floors later on down the road. That doesn't work so well. Right. So, yeah, it makes it very flexible and it's just, yeah, a wonderful, wonderful aspect with that. All right. So yeah, so obviously, yeah, you can get in touch with Manuel about that. And yeah, we can see what is up. And yeah, Manuel, if that's something that you want to do, if anyone is looking to submit deals to us for us to look at to see if it's one that we want, again, we're looking for just off-market deals at the moment since we've got a bunch of on-market and we've seen them. But Ralph, if you could drop that link for submitting a deal into the chat, and boom, he puts that right there. So that's an easy one. And if you're new to all of this, you've never been here before, there's check that out. Click on that link. You can go there, and there's also our YouTube that you'll find our Birddog 101 and 102 that gives you a little bit of an overview of what's going on. Again, you can watch these in faster than 1x speed, so it makes it, you know, I don't know, a little more bearable. I just get antsy sometimes, right? Like I want to get the information, but you can skip around because there's lots of information. It's great to have you guys here too, because yeah, I guess the other thing is any questions that you guys ever have, just like, Lizanne is chiming in, Greg is chiming in, Jessica, everyone. It's like, hey, we've got people that are here that love to help you out. So if anyone has any questions in general about RV parks, anything related to that, please, I'd ask you right now, raise your hand and let's chat because we've got a few more minutes here today. Might as well answer some questions. And then if there's none of that, we could see if there's any deal that you want us to quickly look at. It's sometimes difficult without seeing all these particulars of them. But we're going to be adding more time to look at these deals. And that's part of what this Tuesday session is going to be. And into the new year, we're going to do more of that. But yeah, if you guys want to raise your hand if you have any questions or type it into the chat, and then I can read it off and we can do that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Mike, if you're looking at this, but yeah, Lizanne's curious about how that saga continues. We always like hearing from one week to the next. How's everyone doing? We want to root for you. And frankly, if things aren't going well, like we're here as well. Like, trust me, things are a roller coaster for us. Everyone in this space. So we're there with you for the ups and we're there with you for the downs. And it's all cool. Brian, what's going on, man? Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you doing today?
Good, good. I had a question as far as taking down a park with
Hmm.
seller finance.
Cool. Love it.
Um, th- I can't put the seller in second position, but I guess I can make them part of my LLC.
Mhm.
How would you structure that for an LLC?
That's wonderful. So, gosh, we've done a few good ones on our YouTube where we talk about these in some detail, and I'll have to see which ones they are in general. But in general, how you do it, you could put them in second, but I think what you're saying is they don't want to be put in second position.
Correct. Well, I don't
Yeah.
think the lender wants them in second. They don't want a second on the park.
Yeah, so sometimes the lender will not allow that. I mean, and things could be recorded after the fact, after the first closing of it. But let's say that, like you're saying, none of that is allowed, and there's wording in the loan documents that strictly forbid that. Right. So
Correct.
we don't want to do anything where things are strictly forbid. That's not at all how we do things. So, but a lot of times we come across this with sellers where they say, hey, I don't want to play second fiddle. I don't want to be in second position, regardless of whether a bank would allow it. I just don't want to do that, you know? And so we get around this by bringing them into the LLC. Yes. And so we have a joint venture document that we end up creating between them and us in the LLC. We bring them on as a limited partner that's in there. So, there's going to be certain wording that's in the operating agreement that discusses that says that they'll be issued the K1s and they'll be getting, whatever type of financial agreement over time, they'll be getting that out of disbursements from the company. They can be secured by filing this UCC-1. So basically, they are owed money by the company. So that's their piece of paper that also secures it. So that can get filed. So that's like the kind of the equivalent of a promissory note and recording it like a deed of trust or a mortgage. So that's all on file. And then they're not going to be held liable to any. That's also part of the operating agreement, is that you can say that they're not going to be held liable for any faults of the LLC, for any financial obligations of the LLC, anything like that. But you can put their payout specifically however you want to pay them out over time, and that's just part of the agreement of that operating agreement. So they'll have a certain amount of ownership in it, and then that ownership will go away when they're all paid off. Usually there's no prepayment penalty that you put in place, so you can pay them off whenever. They certainly don't mind that most of the time. They'll obviously just get a tax hit that they're going to have to deal with in that year when you give them more money. But that's how we do it. And then the other way of protecting them, and this one is, we do it because we're confident in what we're doing, but we give them a limited power of attorney. And so what happens is, if we were to be in default with that, of course, when you're in default, you have a certain amount of time that you put together, say, hey, we can cure this default by taking these steps. So it's not like it happens overnight. Usually there's a curing period that's possible within there, because stuff happens, payments get lost, whatever, things happen. So you put a curing period, but they have a limited power of attorney where they can just take over your LLC and take over the control, obviously, to the whole park. And so that's the big teeth. The UCC-1 is something that's useful, of course, that documents the money that's owed, but the limited power of attorney, that's the alligator teeth in the jaws that are just saying, hey, if we don't perform, then you got control of everything. You don't have to file and get a foreclosure like you would a promissory note. You don't have to worry about being second position. You're actually ahead of the bank. You're on the top. We're in the LLC. So that's how we tend to structure them. And you can also do these stack method deals, they're called, or Morby method if you're familiar with sub 2 and part of that community like we are. And that's where essentially you'll give the seller up to 50% down. I know there was someone else, yeah, Judy was talking about raising capital. Some parks are requiring $1 million down for a $4 million park. Check this out, Judy. So listen to this, because $1 million down is nothing, right? We can give up to 50% down on it. So in your example of a $4 million park, $2 million down, up to that, and we go out and get a loan for that. So we'll go and get, for instance, it might be a DSCR type of loan, could be a bridge loan, lots of different loans, depending on your situation, what you're trying to do with your value add. Just know that you can get money. Usually you can get up to 70% loan to value of that. So if you go and get 70% on a loan, you can give the seller up to their 50% down. We use that as just our inner metric because we know that it's easy. So in your case, Judy, 25% down, easy, right? And you've got some transactional costs. You probably have a transactional funder that's showing your extra money down because you don't have, well, 30% of 4 million, so 1.2 million in your bank account to show to move over for closing. But we can have transactional funders that put that at closing for just a few days and then they pull it back. That gets paid back by the second transaction that Brian and I are talking about. So the first transaction is we go and get the loan on the property. It's that purchase agreement. It mentions nothing about seller financing in your purchase agreement, by the way. And then your second contract that you have, it talks all about the seller financing, has that joint venture in there, has saying everything about the operating agreement, has a limited power of attorney in there. That all happens as a second transaction that happens like right after the first transaction. They're going to close 2 separate times, can be the same title company. But by doing all of that, you're able to give the seller, 25% down, 50% down, anything like that, make them very well secured in what's happening, not have to raise any money to close, potentially if it's just a park that's existing and good and you don't need to do a lot of value add to it right now. And you just got to figure out, again, what your situation is with that. What you're looking to do, expand. Are you doing it out of operational funds? Are you getting extra investors for the CapEx and all of that? But you can close on it all like that and put money in your pocket. Because if we're getting 70% of the value of it and we only need 50% down, or like in Judy's case, even less, well, then we can put some money in our pocket, in our bank account. But I mean, yes, you can pay yourself an acquisition fee for your time. And yes, you can have operational funds. So, you feel like you can pay, you've got 6 months in reserve for maybe your employees. You're feeling real comfortable with that. You've got a little bit of a war chest in case things break, in case you negotiated something and the plumbing, you didn't know the plumbing was not good. And you didn't listen to what we were talking about earlier on this call with Greg, how he wants to hold back $100,000, whatever it is, just, in case, because he can't inspect some things during the cold months. But it's all these in cases you're covered, right? So that's an easy way to do that. We love those deals. Those are real fun. And sellers are usually real excited to realize that they've got good teeth and they're not going to just hear the solution of a second position note anymore. So they're pretty excited about that. Have you come across that structure before, Brian? I mean, you already mentioned pulling them into the LLC as a possibility.
Yeah, I'm familiar with what you're talking about, but
cool.
If they're part of the LLC, how do you get them out of once you pay them or the balloon happens, how do you remove them from the LLC so they're not entitled to any additional benefits? Or if you sell the park, how do you get them out of the LLC at that point?
Yes, great question. So there's a condition that's in the operating agreement. They have a certain amount of shares that correlate to those amount of dollars. And when you give them that money, you are buying their shares.
You're buying them out.
Yeah, it's as clean as that. So yeah, you get that paperwork and that will all happen, you should probably do an escrow agent so that they sign it at the same time that you're sending the money. Cause if one were to happen before the other, then it never, sometimes it can work out poorly. So yeah, always have an escrow agent when there's lots of money and ownership that's changing hands, whether it's an attorney or a title company, but attorneys can do that, handle all that. But yeah, that's the way you do it. And it's very clean at that point. It's
Are they
nice.
entitled to depreciation if it's a, let's say it's a seller finance, no interest, no payments until the balloon happens in 5 years? Are they entitled to depreciation at all?
They're not they're not entitled to anything more that you don't want to give them.
I
If
see.
for some reason you want to give them that, it's weirder and it's a little dicier. I would say standard is just no. They're there just for the money side of it. You're taking all the taxes and all that depreciation. Because who knows if you want to do like any type of cost segregation study, or if you want
Right.
to just spread out your depreciation more, that's going to be more on you as the owner and your strategy of it. From them, they just want to get paid on whatever schedule you guys had agreed upon, or sooner. Usually they
Great.
don't mind.
Well, thanks so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, shucks. And then if you want some more, we went over this. I know that there was a meetup, and it's on the website on our YouTube. So I'll try and look for that. There was one, our meetup was with Jay Holder, and where is it? He was at our meetup. He talked about this right here. So I'll send you the link to this episode.
Great.
That's the one right there. Let me stop this from playing on mine. But that's the one where Jay was there and he was going over this transaction and how that works, some of the mechanics of that. I know we've talked about it in some of these Friday sessions, but really I just went over all the details that we go over on the other ones. But Jay, when he was at our meetup, he was the guest of our meetup, he went over this stuff. And he's a transactional coordinator. So if you want to, you can reach out to him, Finish Line TC Services. And for like less than $5,000, he can give you all the paperwork and he can help get everyone to sign and shepherd it all to closing. He helps with the right title and escrow agents that are needed. He can even direct you to the lenders, different types of lenders that can fund the deal. And he can make sure that you don't put the wrong words in each of these different parts of the contract. So yeah, Finish Line
That
TC
would be great.
Services. Thank you, Lizanne. Yeah,
Thank you.
Jay's wonderful with that. And that's what we do. You're welcome. That's what we do here. That's what this Friday is about. It's helping each other out, solving $1 million questions, right? These aren't just
Yeah.
like, hey, I got a problem, got to figure out where to get this or that. These are easily $1 million questions. They can make and break it even more than that. And I love doing this. And that's what we do. We give things forward because we want to have everyone be succeeding in everything that we're doing and achieving more together. So it's really, really awesome. Yeah. So whether you need, I see, Manuel, that you're a Gator, awesome. So yeah, whether we're looking for EMD type of funding, if you guys want to get your EMDs funded, I'm sure Manuel could help with that. We've got some other people that we use for that as well, right? Transactional funders. If you don't know what that is, then when we're doing some of these, if you don't have, $1 million sitting around, we can leverage other people and pay them a certain percentage for using their money for a couple days. It's a win-win scenario. There's lots of different ways that where we've got challenges, problems, or challenges, whatever you want to call them, right? But we've got the solutions to those to make it easy. And that's what this community is about. That's what this is about, just trying to help you guys out. Bring your problems, bring your issues, right? We'll solve them from a real estate perspective as we're moving into, so I'm going to wrap this up, but as we're moving into the next year here, I imagine everyone is thinking about their goals, what they're looking to do with all of that. And heck yeah, Brian, you're most welcome, man. And it's just, people helped me out in the past, and I'm just always, this is what I love doing, is I literally love helping people out in this world and achieving more together. As we're looking at our goals for the next year, I'm going to be putting some things together. My wife and I are going to be meeting where our kids are not available, and we're going to be brainstorming and whiteboarding our goals, putting them down for the year. And if you guys don't know, some of you are new, my wife's an energy healer. She's wonderful. I'm going to have her on in the next year as well, give you guys some ways to align your mind, to like program your mind, trick your mind, I might even call it, hack your mind. She would have different words for all of that, probably gentle, more, energetically aligned words but ways that you can manifest things that you want to happen with ease. It doesn't have to be this like pulling struggle of pulling something towards you. It can just be like an ease, and it'll just happen like from the side. You won't even know how these things, you don't, and in fact, the more you can detach of how these things are going to happen, the easier it is to attract them towards you, because you think it has to happen this way. It's got to linearly come towards you. Well, why can't it take this whole path all the way around and then eventually just like shows right up? And it seems like magic, but that is literally what we do. I say we, I mean, there's plenty of people here, but I can definitely speak to my wife and myself, and what we teach our children is this is magic that we can make happen in the world. So I'm going to bring my wife on to help everyone with a little bit of magic, let you explore some of that. And I'll share some of the things that I do on the daily as well, some tools that I've used when I was in my lowest time to really keep me going, to keep me framed and moving forward. Because it's your lowest times that you need the most help, right? When we're feeling good, it's fine. We're energized. Hey, I feel like working today. I'm excited to do whatever boring thing normally it might be that you got to do, right? But we can make it more exciting. But when we're in our lows, when we're not feeling good, when we're just feeling beat down by, you fill in the blank, right? By whatever that is, you all know, and we all have felt things before. But when you're feeling beat down, that's when you want the most hacks, the most tricks, the most ways of lifting yourself up. And not just lifting up, but gosh, if you can lift up and just be like one of those Energizer bunnies that's just already moving, and then you get picked up by your head and you drop down, and then you're just moving forward instantly. Those are the type of hacks that we can give you in this. And that's what I'm most excited about. So I'll share some of those things that get me going. And it's this time of year when it's cold that I need to use them myself more, because when there's less light out, I'm just not as excited, right? We're not as energized. We are creatures of the world, and part of what makes our world the world is the sun. So when we get less sun, we don't work as well. Go figure, right? Just like plants. So there's ways around that too, of course, but we're going to get into all of that, some fun, and we're going to be talking to sellers and calling them, giving you guys leads, these 17,000 leads, helping you through all of that. So again, let's drop that link one more time. If you guys haven't registered for this Tuesday session, get that at least on your calendar. Then you can choose to go or not. And it's fun because that could be a $40,000 Zoom. You just get a part of, we'll give you a lead, and you make some money just from making a quick call. Again, we're just, we can't call all these 17,000 very easily. And it's more fun when we teach other people, because gosh, when you've got that happy story of you've made that money, well, we want to showcase you, and you're probably going to be excited to make another call and even tell someone like, hey, it wasn't that difficult. Made the call. It was easy. Here we are. And then you get to come and enjoy these parks with us. That's what it's all about. So that's some of the fun that we have going on for the next year, and some little tools and things that we're going to be dropping. So keep things going. Tired of the snow? It can be I know, but yes, we are definitely buying, Judy, south of the Mason-Dixon for this time of year. And someone asks, oh, well, why don't you like seasonal parks in the north? My part of the why is like what you're saying right there, Judy. I don't care the finances on it. I want to get warmer. And my wife is happier when she's on a beach under the sun. So guess who that makes happier as well? Everyone around her. So myself included. So yeah, it just makes it more fun. So yes, absolutely. Why not? Really cool. So awesome, everyone. You got that link from Ralph. Make sure you're checking on that. Subscribe to our YouTube. Thank you again to our sponsor, rvparkconsultant.com. Holy smokes. Loving everything that we're doing. Come on down. Yes, we're going to come on down. Let's buy some parks. Let's call some parks all around you. And then, yeah, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some fitness competitions at these RV parks. You'll be hearing me talk about that next year. We'll be doing some energetic retreats at these RV parks, because my wife cannot wait to help out other people in the world. Oh my gosh, she is a go-giver herself as well, and she is magic. Let me tell you what, yeah, didn't know what that was all about. And so you guys will hear more about that. Holy smokes, Lizanne. Yes. And let me just say this. If anyone knows about a Sedona park, an RV park around there. Pace was just here in Cleveland last Saturday, and there was some talk to him about some fun stuff with RV parks, by the way. I'll wait to tell you guys that until that comes to complete fruition. We had some great conversations about that. But there was a wholesaler that was brand new to shoot sub 2. He just was bopping around. I don't even think he's part of sub 2 yet, but he's been following Pace around. There's some people that have been following Pace around to all these different places. And I mentioned Sedona, and I'm like, yeah, man, just go, because he was calling RV parks around wherever. I'm like, go call some RV parks in Sedona. You find a park, hit me up. And so yeah, that's another way that you can put that energy out into the universe and say, let's do it. Yeah, Travis and Justin, absolutely. Yeah, Judy, that's funny, right? Justin is in sub 2. Travis is from Canada, is not in sub 2, and just bopping around. And Travis and Justin are a little tired at the moment of being with each other from RVing around. They're great. They absolutely are great. Great guys. They are. It's funny. Like, I don't even know how Pace does it, except he's got his family there to keep him energized and all of his support and going around from place to place to get energized from people. But man, it's got to be a drain going from city to city, 100 cities in 100 days. Holy smokes. Insanity. Yeah, and winter sports are fun too. Yes, shout out to UL. Holy smokes, amazing RV park she's developing in Denali, looking at all the northern lights that are there. But yes, so back to Sedona, Arizona, everybody. Yes, go Google Arizona and Sedona area RV parks. Call them up because the numbers are right there. Call them up. Ask them, hey, what's the chance you're looking to sell in the next year? You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the chance you want to sell in the next year? They're like, okay, cool. If I brought you a buyer, you know, could we have fun? Right. And I will tell you that I am your buyer. Definitely. And everyone here, we'll all pool together. Right. I know Jessica's like, I want that one too. We're all going to go in on it together. That's fine because it's an abundant world. Right. And everyone loves Sedona. What a wonderful place to come together, have an energetic retreat and meet everybody and some good, happy stuff, some good energy. Yeah. Call right now, Judy. Heck yeah. Encourage you. Yes. Sonoran Desert. It is different. I don't know where the desert is, but I'm sure that's beautiful too. Lizanne, I don't know. My wife probably knows more. I Google my way to the grocery store. I got to Google everything just to get around. So, you know, there's some things I know real well and other things I trust my resources for. And getting from place to place is a resource. But Tucson, okay, that's fine. Gorgeous cacti, lots of cacti all around. Yeah, so Sedona for me, but it sounds like it's going to be an and with this Sonoran Desert. Yeah, I thought you were just misspelling Sedona with Sonora or something like that. Who knows, right? Yeah. So that's beautiful.
It has the, you know, when you see the cactus, that they're like Arizona, and then you see the cactus, that's the Sonoran Desert. Sedona is the red rock.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Arizona's kind of got it all.
Oh, Arizona is pretty powerful. But yeah, okay. So Twisted Cacti right there are in Sonora.
That's all.
Vortexes are in Sedona. Energy vortexes with twisted trees and red rocks, hiking up all of them. Yeah. Love getting that dirt in my shoes, pulling it out of my socks after those hikes, but it's tons of fun. So yeah, my kids are going to see it one way or another, but I'd love to own an RV park around there, RV resort even, because that sounds even better. So let's go buy some more. And Judy, I see your day is filled already calling those. So love it. Hit me up on Facebook or anywhere to just chat more about this. And so if you get a park, don't worry, we're here to help. Let's go buy some more RV parks, guys, and watch your email. We're going to be sending you some stuff about Tuesday. So thanks again. I'll see you Tuesday. I'll see you next Friday. Have a wonderful weekend and give your loved ones a squeeze and take care. Thanks, everyone. Bye. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Invest In podcast. I hope you picked up insights to fuel your investing journey. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave a rating and review. It helps more adventurers like you find us. For behind-the-scenes content and updates on our RV resort projects, follow @GoInvestIn on Instagram, LinkedIn, X,
Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Want to dive even deeper? Visit MaverikAsherInvestments.com for resources and tune into next Thursday for another episode. Until then, keep investing, keep exploring, and I'll see you on the road.